Hello, and welcome to Imagination TV Alliance Partner Special. My name is Sahil Khan, and what makes me who I am is my Pakistani heritage, my love for my family and closest friends, and my value for creativity, imagination, and hope. Before I pass the mic on to my co-host, I'd like to acknowledge the beautiful lands that we are on today, from around Australia, and to all the Indigenous lands across the world. I'm currently on Dharawal land and would like to pay my respects to the elders past and present, and as well as emerging.
Thanks, Sahil. Great to be joining you as your co-host today. My name is Stephanie, and I'd like to acknowledge the Walgarukuba and Bindal people from the Townsville region in far north Queensland, where I'm joining you from today. And something a little bit about me that makes me who I am, a large part of it is being a mum to a 19-year-old, a nearly 18-year-old and a 10-year-old. So that's a huge part of what makes me who I am. My ability to be creative and resilient and constantly working to turn challenges into opportunities. And I'm excited to be joined by our guest today, who we'll get to meet in a few minutes, but let's kick into the show. At AIM Mentoring, we believe the key to passing down knowledge between generations. Sorry, let me start that one again. At AIM Mentoring, we believe mentoring is the key to passing down knowledge between generations, and university students have been the core of AIM's program for the last 15 plus years as volunteer mentors. Over the last 8 months, we've seen university students join Imagination University and take on the role of the president. They've been working to recruit mentors from campuses and have been running local school chapters. Many of them here in Australia have been mentees themselves at AIM. They've essentially taken on the program that they've helped to build and have been actively mentoring young people in schools. At Imagination Uni, presidents have access to the tools to help them implement the program on a local level, as well as a framework for bringing in the wider community for school engagements. Today, we're joined by a panel of some of our alliance partners to dive into some conversations on mentoring and what the president's role might look like for university students in their networks in 2022. Before we meet the panel, let's take a quick look at our university launch video, and then we'll kick into some conversations.
Let's imagine
what a free and just world looks like. Let's imagine
a university free for all,
with no paywalls to higher order thinking for anyone, anywhere.
Let's imagine
a social network for good.
A bridge for us to come together and redesign the way the world works.
Let's imagine what happens when we tell the kids at the back of the class,
we see you.
There is a generation of kids just like you.
Let's imagine school students, university students,
teachers, executives, citizens
coming together to work on a curriculum designed for a future that we hope to build. Now, imagine.
It's happening right here. And you're invited.
Welcome to Imagination University, brought to you by AIM, the Imagination Factory.
Applications are open now. So joining us today, we have one of our panelists is Nakia Bailey. She's an interning currently at Career Trackers. Hi Nakia, how are you going? Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you've been up to this year?
Yeah, sure. Hey everyone, my name's Nakia Bailey and I'm a proud Ngarrindjeri woman and I live, work and study on Kaurna land. I'm studying a Bachelor of Psychology honours, which I actually just finished, which is really exciting. And I hope to complete my Masters of Clinical Psychology in the coming years to become a clinical psychologist and work with our mob to increase mental health literacy and prevent suicide.
Amazing. Can't wait to dive into some convos with you. Congratulations on completing your Masters. We've also got Anne-Marie Long from Career Trackers. Morning, Anne-Marie. How are you?
Going good to booth you, Stephanie. Thanks so much for having me. I'm very well, thank you. So I'm joining here from the lands of the Yagara the Turrbal people, and I'm very honoured to have the role as a Career Trackers Senior Advisor for our high school programs across Queensland, Northern Territory, WA and ACT. So for the last 3.5 years, I've worked with Career Trackers, working with deadly students just like Nakia in the university stream for the first 3 years, and now really exciting the last 6 months to be working with our high school mob in year 9, 10, 11 and 12 to, access to different opportunities and work shadowing placements, because we all know the value of that opportunity. So I'm a proud Bachelor woman and Torres Strait Islander woman, and I studied dance and journalism. So a fine example of what you choose to study when you're 17 and you follow through with your passions and your hobbies. I'm really thankful that I studied such a creative degree, but look, you can really end up anywhere with enough determination and passion, and that brings me to this incredible role and getting the opportunity to yarn with you today. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, our pleasure to have you. It's great to be partnered with such a great organisation like Career Trackers. Definitely having a daughter who's just preparing for graduation, know the struggles and trying to find the direction for like what's next after high school. We also have Felipe from Archipelago and Lala, which is a Latin American Leadership Academy. Would you like to introduce yourself to us, Felipe?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Stephanie. I'm really happy to be here. So I'm Felipe Amaral. I'm from Porto Alegre, south of Brazil. I'm the co-founder of Archipelago, and I work as a consultant at LALA, the Latin America Leadership Academy. And the work I've been doing in the last 12 years is like how we can help young people to hack their education or hack their career. And today I'm really focused in curating new pathways for young people from education to employment. I think this is a huge issue in Latin America, in Brazil, and we need to create these other pathways for young people that for some of them are going to the universities, but there are so many other possibilities today to connect with the workplace. So like I'm focusing all my energy to support young people in this early stage of their career.
Yeah, super important, especially when we're looking at automation of a lot of the industries over the next 20 years for students to be able to create their own avenues for employment as well. And we also have Eunice Tovar joining us. She's a student at Imagination Uni this year as an artist. Would you like to introduce yourself to us, Eunice?
Hello, everyone. My name is Eunice Tovar. Thank you for having me. I'm a university student. I'm 17 years old, and I'm actually currently working on a project to dignify teenagers' voices in all the media, such as movies, series, and social media. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Eunice. Constantly surprised with the leadership young people take on when they're given the space to lead. So looking forward to jumping into a convo with you and seeing what artwork you've been creating this year. Now I'm going to throw it over to Sahil to lead some questions with the panel.
Perfect. Before we get started into a bit of questions, I thought I'd be nice to give a bit of backstory about my story with AIM. And I mentioned before that my story of becoming a mentor was in 2018. I just finished school and jumped into the whole world of university and didn't know what to do. And I always knew during school I enjoyed volunteering. And I remember it was open day at university and I saw this huge AIM tent around the path and then put my name down. And then a week later, I was out mentoring kids around my local area. And since then, I've loved every second of mentoring. And then my journey continued and I was delighted and honored to be given the opportunity of where I'm at now. And that was to lead the program this year as a Imagination president. And so with saying that, we'll jump into the world of mentoring and to hear what our amazing panel have to say about it. So let's start off with Nakia. What qualities do you believe make a good mentor?
I think confidence is one of the first things that make a great mentor. I think to be confident leads you to the way to be able to mentor younger people. Being compassionate, definitely, especially when you're working with young people, and just being resilient as you can pass that knowledge on to the younger generation and teach them to also be resilient as well.
Yeah, definitely. And Felipe, how has mentoring created a positive impact for the young people you work with today or in the past?
Yeah, I think it's really really important, from the experience that I have, like mentoring young entrepreneurs or mentoring young students that were connecting with work opportunities. I think there is something really important in the process that today in Lala we also stimulate our alumni that they need to have mentors, but they need also to have like people that they are going to be mentoring as well. So this is like a practice that you create in your life. So it doesn't matter what age you are, you can always like receive mentoring from somebody, and you also can give mentor. I think this is really beautiful, and this is why we're teaching young people as well, since they're really young in their life and their career.
Yeah, definitely. I think at any age you can give knowledge and receive knowledge from your mentors around you. I think that's really important. And in saying that, we've learned what qualities make a good mentor through Nakia, and how mentoring has created a positive impact for young people. So Eunice, has mentoring played a role in your life? And if so, how has it played a role?
Yes, mentoring has definitely made an impact in my whole life. Since high school, I actually didn't want to become a software engineering until one of my teachers, who became later my mentor, encouraged me to be part of a robotics team. He encouraged me to follow what I love instead of what I'm good to, and it completely changed my life.
Yeah, definitely. Steph, I understand you have a few questions.
Yeah, I do. Just commenting on that, I think it's it's great to hear everyone's thoughts coming through. I think can be get into a dangerous place where I think if we get to a position where we think we know everything, or we don't learn from other people and perspectives as well. So being able to be mentored and mentor and pass that knowledge on, or time and opportunities, is something that is like essential to being a good mentor as well, and also a mentee at any age. So Anne-Marie, as mentors, and when we're looking, especially with the work that we're doing at Imagination University, how do we make sure, it's probably some stuff that you're doing with career trackers as well, how do we make sure that we're leaving enough space for young people to contribute to co-designing those solutions along with us?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Stephanie, right? When you speak about co-designing and using the students' voices and the journeys to facilitate mentoring, I think it's important to always reflect on our own journey and kind of tap back into our younger minds and think, hey, what conversations did I have when I was 14, 15, 16, 22 that played a really integral role in the person I am today, and how can I kind of offer and extend that back, and getting into that mindset, whether it's about fear of speaking out and being heard and being seen, whether it's conflict of opinion. So I think just being really authentic in who you are and in your roles that we all play as mentors and leaders, because typically we don't even know who's watching us as well. We don't even know who we're being mentors to on an everyday, which is really powerful to think about. But I think just ensuring that we're always checking in with our mindset from when we were in those more formative days of schooling and senior schooling, early days of university, and always asking the questions of, hey, what do you want from us in an ideal world? Where do you see yourself in a couple of years' time? What's the dream? When you close your eyes and picture, you're walking through the graduation ceremony at high school or university, what are the tools that you have now? What are the attributes that you have? Having those really transparent conversations, and then driving those results through the student's voice.
Yeah, definitely. Especially the point that you made about you don't know who's watching you as well, or how your words are going to be perceived by other people. And I think we could probably all find a moment in our lives where someone said something to us that stayed with us forever and kind of shifted the way we thought about ourselves. For me, I think I was about 11. I was baking with my best friend or something, and her nana said to me, after I had an idea, she was like, "Oh wow, like you're really clever," and that stuck with me forever because it wasn't something that I heard a lot, which was really nice. So it's like nearly 30 years ago now. So it had an impact on me. Sahil, just jumping over to you, do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience this year? Like, what are some of the biggest learnings that you've had taking on the role of the president?
Yeah, definitely. It's a pretty loaded question, but I guess going chronologically, my experience this year as a president began when I was completing all the online tools that AIM provided us with, where it was knowledge around mentoring, hope, imagination, flipping the script, and how to organize change. And AIM had created this beautiful online sacred space where I connected with all these fellow presidents around the world, and where we all shared that same passion for mentoring, building bridges, and creating change in our respective communities. It was really special. And so my experience moved to working alongside 5 leaders, and it was special with them being 3 of them being ex-mentees in AIM, another being a close friend of mine, and then the 5th one being a fresh face to AIM altogether. Together we built that bridge and connected with each other, which was another really special moment. And then, we started achieving our goal of alleviating educational inequality in Wollongong through our mentoring and the modes of imagination and flipping the script. From there, I tried to follow the tools provided by AIM to a T. We recruited mentors, schools, ran a program and collected data, and we ran a successful program that worked around with 10 to 12 schools. And we gave tutor squads weekly, where we head out to all these schools and sit down one-on-one with some kids and mentor them. And it was really special how we trained over 100 mentors. And I'm so proud of how the leadership team, myself, went through a tough year, went through lockdown as well, had to move to online stuff. And then going back to your question about what the biggest learning, but one of the biggest things I learned this year would be from a video that I have watched continuously from the AIM site. It's a pretty funny video, this Tommy Franklin video, and he's dancing away, talking about no shame at AIM, how to, just do something with no judgment at all. And so I'd steal his line and say, at the beginning of this year, we had no idea where it would take us, but we did it, and we just did it scared.
Yeah, amazing answer. It is a scary thing, turning an idea into reality and being the first people to move, but you certainly, we've learned heaps from you this year as well, and hoping that we'll be able to continue to learn from you in the future as we build out our knowledge base for other people to take on these tools. We might jump to you, Nakia. You spoke earlier about your passions for breaking down mental health stereotypes. How do you see that? How do you see mentoring playing a role in being able to achieve that?
Well, I think mentoring is all about forming relationships and maintaining those relationships with especially young people. And in my opinion, good relationships that are positive in their nature are a form of mental health care. They're a form of suicide prevention because you have that community to rely on. So I think mentoring plays a role in mental health care and just increasing mental health literacy, especially for, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander young people who where there's a lot of stigma around that in our communities. So I think that a mentor who is really passionate and really knowledgeable in that area can play a huge role in breaking down that stigma.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing we've learnt throughout the last 18 months is that value of connection, and we may have taken it for granted before, but human connection, there's nothing that really can replace that, and it's part of that process of having being mentally healthy, I believe, as well. Eunice, maybe we can throw to you for a quick recap on what your project is this year for Imagination University.
Sure. Thank you. Actually, my project was around mental health. I noticed that in people around my age who's like 15 to 18, 19, we don't talk enough about their perspectives on what is depression, what is anxiety, and how they live that kind of experiences, especially now that a lot of young people is getting diagnosed. So I talked to some of my friends who have been diagnosed, and I try to picture the experiences with photography as close as they can, and also tell a story, tell the story of how they live this diagnosis and how they've been dealing with it. My project goes from photos to diary entries, and these two tell 100% true stories. Some things are changed, but I try to stay as close as the real versions of the stories to be able to picture this, and maybe adults, professional people can see it and understand the other side of this story, what they live. And also other young people can see themselves reflected in the story and feel that they are not alone.
Yeah, so important being able to give a stage for people that don't often have their stories heard, to be told, and drawing some connections between the work that yourself and Nakia are doing is exactly the reason why, one of the reasons why Imagination Uni exists, is allowing people to connect from different corners of the globe and share ideas, to come up with solutions, and then move forward with something new to see if we can shift the levers in the areas that we're focused on. We're going to throw now to Felipe, and knowing that you've done some back end work with partnering, just for the audience, would like to know if university students within your networks would be interested in taking on the role of the presidents this year, if they'd see some value in being able to take a framework and a toolkit and offer mentoring and start school student chapters in the communities where you're living currently. That one was for you, Felipe. Do you want me to repeat the question?
I'm sorry. I thought it was for Anne-Marie. Sorry for that. So what we're doing, we have in Lala, we have a program that is called the Lala Career Internship. So we connect our alumni with amazing organizations around the world for them to have like an internship. And we just had a partnership with AIM, and we have an alumni working with AIM to develop AIM in Latin America, and the experience has been amazing. So what we really want is how we can expand the partnership, how can we connect more Lala alumni through the AIM network, because I think like when you're expanding to all the parts of the world as AIM is doing, like how you connect with the right network of young people in the countries and in the region for you to create the relationships and the right networks. And I think AIM and Lala really connect on that side. So I'm really happy that this is happening. And this is what we're trying to do and offer to our alumni, is connect them with amazing work opportunities, but also how can we help them for them to create their own relationship building and for them to create their own opportunities as well. Because we know that like more than 80% of the work opportunities are not public. So they need to create their relationships for the work opportunities that they want to pursue. So we're doing this with the Lala Career Internship Program, but we're training the students for them to go by themselves as well to navigate the workforce and create the career that they want to live in. So it's been amazing, like just this first pilot that we're running with AIM, and I'm happy to expand the partnership to have more alumni and how we can really support AIM in Latin America.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. Yeah, we've just welcomed Isabella into our world, the 17-year-old that you've put forward to lead the program and even the pilot. Amazing. Like I said again, like it's constantly surprised by the ability of young people when they're given the stage to lead. And just really quickly, one of the values that we have is mentors and not saviors. So every time we mentor young people, we're hoping to leave them stronger, so that they're able and fully capable without us as they move through life. Anne-Marie, same question for you. How do you think university students within your network, do you think that they'd be interested in taking on the role of the president next year?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's really great with Career Trackers and AIM, obviously having worked closely together over the last few years, and the amazing synergies that we both have as programs, right? The shared mission that we have to support our young Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students, and also, you know, mature age students who are coming back into the university world with different pathways to work shadowing opportunities, or having, you know, someone that they can see and therefore be, because we know that's a really important part for our mob, is seeing our representation, you know, not just in the sporting community, which is fantastic, but also in an academic context, in a context of, you know, with different policy enforcements and different roles and aspirations in creative fields. So it's been really great, you know, working with Career Trackers and AIM together on this shared mission to mentoring. And we've seen it happen with the chapter presidents such as Keely Perry, who, you know, are completing their degree and completing their Career Trackers internship opportunity, but can also use their current lived experience to mentor the next generation coming through through AIM. And it's really helpful when you can remember not too long ago, your own experiences of going to your first job interview, your own experiences of navigating your ATAR exams and choosing your senior subjects. So I think that's the great value that our Career Trackers community bring, is that not too long ago, we were able to understand what it felt like walking into the university gates for the first time, and supporting our young mob to navigate campus and navigate some of the obstacles, apply for scholarships, and also empowers our interns with those mentoring capabilities, because at Career Trackers, you're matched with a student advisor, so someone to support and mentor you who's been to university. And it's a great opportunity to actually build and flex those muscles once you're supporting an AIM chapter around what it's like to give back on the other side of the table and kind of continue that platform. So it's worked really nicely. And I believe Nakia's actually, done some work with AIM in the past in her years in high school, so can speak through that experience. But it's been great to, hear the stories through Keely about her time, both with her Career Trackers internships and running the chapter through AIM as well.
Yeah, super valuable. Just to have those conversations when you're entering into those experiences of ATAR or university. Sometimes, I guess, fear can hold us back if we don't have a way to kind of process what that's going to look like. So thanks for all of the work that you guys are doing, and look forward to continuing strong partnership into the future. I'll just leave a bit of space for you guys to ask any questions of each other before we do the final show wrap up. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, I'll hand the stage over.
I might throw to Nakia actually, if that's okay, and inquire, I suppose it's time commitments, right? When you're navigating uni or school, mentoring and work. What advice would you give to our community who want to step up and be mentors, but are just conscious of their time, and how did you balance that effectively?
Yeah, definitely. And going back to what Stephanie said before about how fear can hold you back, I definitely can agree with that statement. That's like when you said that, I was nodding my head, because it really is true. I think when you do have so many things to balance, so many things on your plate as a university student or student in general, when you're working and you want to volunteer and you're so passionate about something at the same time, there is that element of anxiety about how can I fit this all in? How can I do everything that I'm passionate about at the same time, which is definitely something I've experienced. So I think the advice that I would give is to prioritize, choose the things that you're most passionate about and will fill your cup, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And I'm sure everyone's heard that before, but it's so true. So choosing the necessary things that you need to do, like work, like uni, and then the other things like volunteering, that are the things that will make you happy and will not only give back to perhaps the community, but also do something for you in return.
Incredible. Thank you very much for that, Nakia. We're going to throw to Sahil now to close us out for the show, but it's been great to sit and have a yarn with you guys today.
Perfect. I think this was, again, another special moment where across the world and everyone's coming together to talk about mentoring. And I want to thank you all for coming on the show and sharing your knowledge. I guess if you're a university student or anyone who would like to be involved with AIM, head to our website for more information on what is involved in being a president at the Imagination University. I think the panelists and I all agree that we want to see more young people leading around the globe. And to everyone watching this, urge you to join our team, apply and enroll in Imagination University, and join us in our mission in building bridges, imagining and organizing change to mentor the next generation in becoming pioneers for the future. So join us again on Imagination TV on Friday at 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, and for a discussion on imagination and what 2022 will look like as teachers pick up the teaching with imagination lessons at the university. Till then, have an amazing day wherever you are, and see you around the Imagination University virtual halls. See you later.